Welcome to Moneyline. This is Matt McCall. Thanks for joining me on a Thanksgiving edition. We have a huge show coming up. We have the small cap stocks breaking out to all-time highs. We have Bitcoin close to an all-time high, breaking out again. The altcoins are finally rallying. My 5 stocks I'm going to share with you. My thanks to you for such a great year that we've had together. All this and so much more coming up right now on Moneyline.
The buck starts here. Moneyline with Matt McCall.
All right, folks, once again, this is Matt McCall. Thanks for joining me. My goodness, we have a huge show. I mean, I have stacks of paper in front of me right now. It is, Tuesday? November, I have to look at my phone, 24th, 11/24. Tuesday, November 24th, 2 days until Thanksgiving. I'm cooking a big meal for a very small amount of people, but man, you should see my menu. It is amazing. You guys would be jealous. I'm not even going to tell you what it is, but I'm one hell of a cook. So we're going to talk about Thanksgiving a little bit. A few things, just cover what we're going to do in today's show. It's going to be a little different, but man, oh man, get your pen, paper ready because we have a lot of great ideas. We're going to talk about the markets, give you a bit update, what's going on with the vaccine, coronavirus. We're going to talk about the EV, electric vehicle rally that's been going on. We have to touch on that. We're going to talk about small caps breaking out again. We're going to talk about Bitcoin breaking above 19,450, just hit recently. Oh my goodness. We're going to talk about some of your comments that you're thankful for. I love that. There's some good ones in there. We're going to talk about SPACs. I'm going to go through a list of like 10 SPACs right now, and some of them look great. Some we own. And then we're going to wrap the show with something that's my thanks to you for supporting the show, supporting me and the company and everybody, the whole team this year. I always think it's good to give back because the more you give, the more you get. I truly believe that. Man, I mean, being a mentor is one of the greatest things in the world. I have 5 stocks I came up with this weekend. And when I came up with them, I got them for subscribers and for clients, and for myself. I'm not going to tell you, we didn't buy any of these yet, so we didn't buy any of them, but I'm going to share these 5 stocks with you and go through exactly on the charts why we bought them and why I think they're on the top of my watch list right now. So let's jump into it. Let's take a look at the market here. I have pulled up the Russell 2000 index. This is the small cap index. As you can see, we're up 1.75% today to yet another all-time high. The small caps have lagged for so many years, and I think that we're really, truly breaking out. We talked about this on Friday, and you can take a look on the chart here. As you can see, we came against resistance earlier this year, finally broke out. We're confirming it because we've been up for almost 2 weeks now above that breakout level. I think we're set to have an amazing 2021, 2022, the next couple of years. Small caps are the place to be. I think it's also going to be a bit of, I hate this term, I hate it, but a stock picker's market. And what that means is, if you're able to pick the right stocks, you should be able to blow the doors off the market. However, if you're a stock picker in a market that's doing well, it makes your job even easier. And I'm a stock picker, it's what I do every day. So I believe that the market's going to do well next year, another 20 plus on the upside in my opinion, and on top of that, if you're in the right trends and the right stocks, you will blow the doors off it. Similar to what we did this year. I mean, I'm going through the numbers of what we've done this year in the face of one of the craziest years, probably the craziest for me since I've been in this business for over 20 years. The craziest I've ever seen. And we're still able to eke out a gain. Yeah, granted, the market's up, but we have had some huge winners, and we're going to talk about some of those today. But for me, small caps, you want to be small, mid-cap exposure. If you have a financial advisor and you pull up your statement, and I don't care if it's stocks, mutual funds, ETFs, but if you're very heavily weighted in some of these big mutual funds or ETFs, or just own like the Apples of the world, nothing wrong with Apple, I like Apple, but just the big caps, you're going to miss out. You're going to miss out on potentially years and years of outperformance from the small cap stocks. So if you do that, call your advisor. Tell her, him, get your head out of you know what, and let's get into small caps. And if they say no, then you call me. I'll take care of your money for you. But you have to be in these small caps, I'm telling you. All right, again, we're going to get to this. My 5 ideas are right here. We'll get to that last. But let me just talk about some other stuff going on in the news here real quick. This has to do with the Thanksgiving holiday coming up. Has to do with COVID, travel. You know, last weekend, 3 million people passed through U.S. airports, according to the TSA. This was the busiest weekend since mid-March, so basically since the beginning. So that says something at the same time when the CDC is basically warning us not to travel. So you can tell kind of where Americans' heads are at right now. They're over it, is kind of how I look at it. There's a bit of a fatigue of being locked up. The American Automobile Association forecasts that over this holiday weekend, we're going to have about 45 to 50 million people on the roads. Granted, that's down from 55 million last year, but it's not down that much. So again, people are out there traveling. I don't know if we're going to see a big spike after this. I don't know. But man, you're seeing it happen. And because of that, you're seeing some of the related stocks do well. Let's take a look at one right here. This is the, type this in right, yeah. The Jets ETF. This is up 4%. This is an ETF of airline stocks. If it closes here, it's closing the best level since March. Now, does that have something to do with the numbers? The fact more people are going through? This is why I say investing is so damn simple. It's very hard. It's not easy, but it's simple. If there's more people going through the TSA, more people on the planes, and more money the planes make. The planes, airlines, not planes, but the planes aren't actually making money, but the airline companies. Look at this. It's breaking out. There's still much more upside. I love the airlines here. Speaking of sectors, what about housing? I mean, look at these numbers here. Let me pull this up. This is the housing ETF, the home construction ETF. It's actually down 1% today, but not far from an all-time high, as you can see. We do have this for clients. We've had this for a very long time at Penn Financial Group, ITB, so for some clients. U.S. home prices at an all-time high, up 7% over last year. U.S. mortgage rates at all-time lows, 2.72%. They're basically giving you money. Home builder sentiment at a record, 90 out of 100. Home sales, highest level since 2006. Building permits, highest level since 2007. And the Fed still says we need to stimulate the housing market. Holy smokes. Get into housing stocks, folks. Anything related to that. I mean, here's one we have. Zillow. Again, down today. I don't care. It's down 3%. Just last week was an all-time high. Because you rallied on huge numbers, great earnings. Zillow, I'm on it all the time. And then one more little tidbit here I want to talk about. New study came out again, passive versus active. What this means is a passive mutual fund or a passive ETF tracks an index. An example is the S&P 500. So SPYs, the spiders, which I believe is still the largest ETF out there. And by the way, S&P is up 1.3% today, not far from an all-time closing high. SPYs, it tracks the 500 largest companies here in the States. They're publicly traded. And it rebalances, I think, every quarter, if not every 6 months. I can't remember when it bounced. I think it's every quarter. And so it's passive. You know from day to day what you're investing in. An actively managed mutual fund or ETF, there's not as many actively managed ETFs. Most are passive. Actively managed means there's, like me and my team, actively managing, buying and selling, trying to beat said index. Well, it happens almost every year. But the ones that try to beat the S&P 500, the U.S. large cap mutual funds, 4 out of 5 cannot even keep up with this. And you're paying them typically an average 1 to 2%. And if your advisor is charging you 1.5%, you're paying a mutual fund 1.5%, and they're still lagging this, which costs 8 basis points, 0.08%. What the hell are you doing? Either go with a stock picker like me or you buy this. There's no in-betweens anymore. If your advisor can't pick stocks, there's no reason to have them. Get the newsletter. Get a financial advisor and pick stocks, or go buy the S&Ps. Because it's the old 80-20 rule, folks. 80% can't do it, 20% can. So let me ask you this. What are the odds of you picking that 1 in 5 manager that's going to pick then the right stocks? I don't know. Probably not good. The odds aren't good. Remember everything we do here. We play the odds. All right. Now we got to talk about Bitcoin real quick. Bitcoin right now is at 19,000. I got to pull up my other screen here. $19,408.94. We'll call it 19,400. It hit 19,450 earlier today, about an hour ago. It's the best level, of course, since January of 2018. My gosh. And what is amazing about this is the altcoins, the smaller ones. I told you this last week. I said they're going to catch up. The way it works, after each halvening, we've just had a third halvening earlier this year. It's when the reward for miners of Bitcoin gets cut in half. You see a rally after that. But typically, Bitcoin rallies first, and then the smaller guys join. And the smaller altcoins, to me, are very similar to buying small cap stocks. So if you know the right ones, you're going to do really well. And I'll tell you, I just checked, I don't know where I put my phone, but I checked my account on my Coinbase, and in the last week, it's gone bananas. And I own Bitcoin as well, but the thing is, my altcoins are going crazy. I said the altcoins will follow, and they are. And now Bitcoin, I'm pointing up there if it's down here, Bitcoin's on the verge of breaking out to an all-time high. It could happen by the time this goes live tonight. You know, I'm taping this, it's 11:20 a.m. Eastern time. So in the next 5 hours before this goes out, we could be at an all-time high. It's inevitable, I think, before Thanksgiving. I really do. And I've been saying, you know, pounding the table. Anytime it dropped below 10,000, you know I've been live saying pound the table, buy Bitcoin. You would have been more than doubled by now. So altcoins, Bitcoin, buy every dip you can. And I think the altcoins, a lot of them that we have in our portfolios, we have two different newsletters. They are both, a lot of them are still great buys. Our Ultimate Crypto newsletter goes out today, as a matter of fact. And that portfolio this morning, as before the rally we just saw, that portfolio since January 7th, on average, was up about 140%. 140% since January. How many investments do you have doing that? That's as a whole. I mean, we have some up over 600% as a whole. Folks, my point is, it goes out tonight, and they're all buys still. Even one that's up 600% is still a buy. I still think there's big upside left in it. So if you're not yet a member, check it out. Go to Moneywire or investorplace.com/Moneywire. Investorplace.com/Moneywire. Not Moneyline, Moneywire. Now we got to talk about this electric vehicle rally, because it is getting a little nuts. And I will tell you this. I sold, you know, I had some for myself, and I sold some yesterday of one of my positions. And I think I sold a little early. Definitely sold early. But I bought Li Auto back around 19 and change right here. And in a matter of 3 weeks, I sold it yesterday at like 42 and change. So I left $4 on the table. That's a lot. That's a lot of, you know, considering my shares I had. It's a lot of money on the table for me. But I also had a huge gain, and I didn't want to get slaughtered like a pig. But my God, look at these moves, and they keep going. Let's take a look at NIO. That's the real big name one. It's basically one they call the Tesla of China. It's down 1% today. It's been all over the board here today. We have some for clients, and we're up huge. I mean, huge. We bought back in here. I mean, we're up huge. And we're still holding on right now. I don't know, maybe I'll sell before this goes live. I don't know. Take some off the table, maybe sell half. But Jim Cramer was tweeting, you know, about how sell these, take your money off the table, bank it, you know, like he's this godsend telling people to send. Meanwhile, he's been telling everybody to stay away from it. So it's like, you know, we don't want your opinion on something you didn't like, and now you're trying to give us an opinion. Are all these stocks due for a pullback, folks? Yes, they are. I mean, XPeng is up 30-some% yesterday. It's up over 1% today. Excuse me. This was at $20. It was just 3 weeks ago. It's at 73.25 right now. So we have to be realistic. I think the electric vehicle trend is in a very, very early stages. I mean, we're not even in one inning of the 9-inning baseball game. We're still taking batting practice. We're warming up in a bullpen. But before this gets higher, and I'm not saying buy this or it goes, but before they get higher, they're going to have to pull back at some point. We have to be realistic. So would I buy any of these right now? No, I wouldn't be buying them here. I think a lot of them need to pull back. XPeng here could pull back to 45.50 and still look great, and still be up well over 100% since just the end of October. So you have to keep that in mind. Let's have a perspective. I'm not putting down EVs. I own some. We have some in the newsletter. Like I said, I have some for clients. I sold mine only because I'm a little more shorter term. I don't mind paying the taxes on it. But I will say there's going to be a pullback. But as a long-term investor, I'd be buying into pullbacks. So let's put it that way. But I had to touch on this because it's just nuts. And along those lines, I want to also talk about the SPACs out there. And there's so many SPACs that are in the EV space. So I want to go through these. And this is kind of, again, my Thanksgiving for you before I get into what I'm thankful for and take some of what you guys are thankful for. But let's go through some SPACs. I'm going to go through them fast. I'm going to go through a lot. And because everybody keeps asking about them, so get your pen and pencil ready. None of these are recommendations. I'm just going through and giving you my thoughts. Here is Kensington Capital, KCAC. They have the intent to combine with QuantumScape, which is one of the only pure play solid state battery companies out there. Anybody who follows me know I love solid state batteries. We have a very small one in a portfolio that's been doing really well. We've had it in there for maybe a year and a half now that I love. You can see here, you know, they always price at around 10 bucks. You can see it jumped up on the news, came back almost all the time. When you see them jump up like this, unless you're catching it here, don't chase them up here when it's already up 150%, because they almost always pull back. I'll show you a couple more. But this is QuantumScape. This is one you definitely want to keep an eye on. Again, I don't know if I'm chasing it here, but this one you definitely want to keep an eye on. Then there's another one. This is a very similar symbol, but it's Hennessey Capital, HCAC. They're going to be combining with Canoe. And look at this, same pattern, folks. $10 came up, back down. It didn't go up nearly as much. It's only $13.50, so it's only about 30%, 35% from the $10 range. I will say I did buy this recently, just right down here for some clients at Penn Financial. I like this one. This makes like a skateboard technology, they call it. It kind of goes under the electric vehicles. You can put different types of stuff on top of it. One I like, and again, when it will be changing its name to Canoe, I feel like a lot of times when they do that, you'll see them pop as well. So that's one to keep an eye on as well. Here's one, Romeo Acquisition Corp, or RMG Acquisition Corp, sorry, RMG. They're actually merging with a company called Romeo Systems. It's an EV battery maker, up 7% today. But again, you see the spike, folks, it comes back down. So wait for those, if you see in the future that you want a SPAC and all of a sudden announces, I like that company. Unless it hasn't moved yet, wait for it to come back down. And if you miss it, you miss it. There's gonna be another one. There's always another train coming, right? So look for it to come back. Now look at this. Now you're up 20% from down there. But that's one, battery plays. Battery plays are really big right now. It's one to keep an eye on. Here's another one. This one is going to be combining with XL Fleet. It's a connected leader in electrification solutions for commercial and municipal fleets. Again, folks, the spike in the news, up 40%, break back down to 10. Now it's up again. It's up 6.5% today, 12.90, so be up 29%. So don't chase here. If you're chasing here, you're not even break even yet. You want to wait for that. It almost happens every damn time. But another one that you want to keep an eye on. And then there's, Arrival, which was the big one that came out last week. And the CIIG merger company said they're going with Arrival, which is an EV company, startup. Went from 10, and there's a 31. So do we buy it here? Hell no. I would never chase it up, from 10, it's up 3x to 31.47. It is up 24% today. I mean, look at it, it's just crazy. But I wouldn't chase them there by any means. Here are two that are in talks for mergers. And these are just talks right now. So let's see what we got here. This one is Form Merger 3, FIII. This is one I actually I bought myself recently. So I bought it in here. I think this one, there's talks that it might merge with a company called Electric Last Mile Solutions. They have a plant in Indiana, and looking to produce 100,000 vehicles annually coming up. So there is some capacity. They have a plan, a little bit more than a lot of these companies have. So I like it. I mean, there's nothing announced yet. This is when they said they're in talks. So I think if it does go through, this thing shoots up. Very, very risky, but I put my own money into that one there as well. So what else do we got here? I feel like I missed one. Oh, here we go. Here's another one that you could tell by the symbol THCB that they had intentions of going merging with a cannabis-related company, but apparently they're in talks to merge with another EV battery maker, a company called Microvast. I don't know much about the deal, but you can see here it's kind of rallying the news, up 4% today to 11.16. Again, one to keep an eye on because if it does go through, you can see it move. Speaking of batteries and charging companies, here's one that's already announced the merger, Switchback Energy. I mean, look at this. This is unbelievable what you're seeing here. They're going to be merging with a company called ChargePoint. But again, folks, you saw it run up to like 17, and then it did pull back. It pulled back to about 13 bucks before taking off. It's up 20% today to nearly $41 a share. Again, I'm not chasing anything like that here. Sometimes you just miss out. Let's see what else we got here. Here's one that's going to be merging with Luminar, which is LiDAR. And man, look at the big move we've had here. But again, folks, boom, pull back, go. And you may say, well, that's because EVs are hot this week. That's true. But you see this with IPOs, you see this with SPACs. People get excited, they sell, they forget about it, it comes back. And then once they announce the merger, a lot of times too, and it changes symbols, it goes back in the news and it goes up again. But this is up another 4.5% today. Again, I don't think I'd chase it here, but we have this for subscribers in our newsletter, which is fantastic. So congratulations. Speaking of LiDAR, here's another announcement that's come out recently. LiDAR company, AEVA, A-E-V-A, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Looks like it's had a post-valuation deal about $2.1 billion. Expect this to close first quarter of 2021. Hasn't really moved yet. You're starting to see maybe a little bit move in it, but it hasn't moved too much as of yet. What else we got? Oh, here's another one that is, again, not announced yet, but GIK going after a company called Lightning E-Motors and a potential $700 million deal. We'll see if that goes through. It's moved on the news, as you can see, from 10 to it's up about 1% here today. What else do we got? Got a couple more here. Electric startup Faraday Futures. You've heard of Faraday probably. They're looking to go public through SPAC, so they announced recently. So that's one you may want to keep an eye on. And just to give you an idea of ones that have gone through before and what's happened. You know, Fisker's already had its merger. It's gone through. You can see those ups and downs along the way. We know Lordstown Motors has gone through its SPAC already. It's now RIDE, the symbol. Again, rallied up, coming back up today. Helion, HYLN, has gone through it as well. As you can see here, rallied up, pulled back. This one hasn't come all the way back up, but that was up at $55 from 10. That was a hell of a move that company made. Then, you know, I already talked about the Chinese EV names that are moving as well. And then one, of course, that I've been on since $2 and change is Workhorse, having a crazy day, down 3%. But man, look at the run it's had recently, closing in at the all-time high, just above 30. Man, we've had a hell of a run in that. We're up about 10x right now. I think we bought at 270 something. It's at 27.90. So simple math says we're up 10x from where we bought it back in May. Recommended a newsletter in May. So our subscribers are up 10x on that right now. So congratulations again to our subscribers. InvestorPlace.com/MoneyWire if you want to know more about our subscriptions. And all our free articles are on there as well. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all the good stuff down below on the video. I'd love to get more subscribers and keep everything moving. But a couple more SPACs that are outside of the EV, but I want to talk about just because they kind of caught my eye. Monocle is one of them. And this is an acquisition corp that announced it's going to be merging with AirSale. It's AERSALE, AirSale. They do kind of aftermarket commercial jets. They do maintenance. They lease with the leasing companies. It's a weird space to be in considering the whole coronavirus thing, but if you think it's going to come back and we're going to need a lot of jets out there to really move the vaccines around, I think this is a very interesting play here. It really hasn't moved yet. It actually fell on the news. You know, we usually see it go the opposite way. One to keep an eye on there. Another one here that was announced, this was just announced yesterday. This is GIX. This is Gig Capital 2. I talked about GIK already, which is Gig Capital 3. It's a SPAC company that, you know, that put together different things. This announced yesterday that it's going to be in a deal with two different telehealth companies. One's called UpHealth, one's called CloudBreak. The company will be called UpHealth Holdings when it's all done and said. The symbol will change to UPH. It's about a $1.35 billion deal pro forma enterprise value of it when it's all put together. And what's pretty fascinating is next year, UpHealth expected to generate revenue over $190 million. So this company's bringing in money, $24 million in EBITDA. That's earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, amortization. 69% of the incremental revenue is already contracted for next year. So this is almost like, that's guaranteed, it's contracted. Obviously things can fall through, but you know, telehealth is huge. This is a very rare company because it is one of the very few profitable, publicly traded global digital health companies. And you all know I love digital health. You know that I was on Teladoc, one of the first people out there on Teladoc. They bought Livongo. Boy, that's pulled back. That's a great opportunity down there in my opinion. But going back here, I will tell you this. I bought some this morning for myself right there. I think this, once this news gets out, I think this company is, man, big time upside there. Again, very risky though, because it hasn't moved on it yet. You see the big volume yesterday, but it didn't move it. You know, maybe I'm nuts, but I was looking at that today. Another one that was just announced yesterday is there's Apex Acquisition Corp. You can see it moved a little bit, the big volume. Hasn't moved too much though. This is going to be merging with a company called AVE Point, Avenue Point, 8 Point, I don't know, $1.7 billion deal. The software company, you know I love software. It's one of the greatest investments there is. They do document protection recovery software that works with Microsoft 365 users for small enterprises. So that's not bad. Speaking of healthcare, let's go back real quick to another SPAC. Longview, this was announced last week. And again, look at this. You know, I like the Longview thing. It's going with Butterfly Networks. But look, 60%. That's why I think that the other one, the other GIX, I should say, GIX is going to move. I just think people are putting so much more money in EVs and everything else, they're ignoring it. So two more, DMYT. This is merging with Rush Street, which is an online casino and sports betting company. But again, folks, this isn't even EVs, but the rally and the pullback. Look for those pullbacks. But up 10.5%, or almost 11% today to a new high, closing in at $15. That's a 50% run from the SPAC price. This is interesting because, you know, the more sports betting is being passed around the country, this is a big, big area to look. And one other one that got announced recently, not as exciting, but sometimes those are good ones. This is the Roth Acquisition Corp, and this is ROCH, and they're combining the Pure Cycle Technologies EV value, enterprise value about $826 million, recycles plastics. And you think about it, you know, in the green world we live in now, that's not a bad place to be a business. Because as they drink out of a plastic cup, plastics aren't going anywhere. So damn, I just gave you guys a lot right there. So there is a lot right there to swallow. Again, none of these are buy recommendations. Just because I own some doesn't mean anything. Just because we have them for subscribers or clients doesn't mean, or subscribers doesn't mean anything. Just sharing ideas and education with you, thoughts, if you will. All right, I'm about to share my 5 Thanksgiving stocks for you all. But first, I want to read a couple. I told people to post last week what they're thankful for, and you can still do that. I can read them again on Friday. But I just got a couple here that I thought were pretty cool. One, Zinnet wrote down, "Thank you for what you do for the average investors like us." And he put a quote for Leonard Nimoy. "The miracle is this: the more we share, the more we have." And man, I love that. I said earlier, I think we should all share because, you know, I've been around guys and ladies, but these just happen to be men that were, you know, when I was on TV at Fox, my co-host at the time, you know, older guy, he was just a jerk and like always putting me down because he was afraid that the young guy was going to overtake him. And I was truly better than him on television. I'm smarter than him. I worked harder than him. So he didn't like that, so he pushed me out. So, you know, that comes back to bite you, and it did because he had a sexual harassment case against him. And he's just not a good person. I had one of my first bosses after I left Charles Schwab in a startup in Boulder. The guy was just not a good person and eventually bit him in the ass. His company went bankrupt and I started Penn Financial Group. So, you know, those things come around. So I try to mentor the young guys as much as possible. And I think we all should. So thank you for that. Lisa Bass, number 2, Lisa Bass, it was your birthday. So thankful. Happy birthday. I'm thankful for you that you're having our birthday. Somebody wrote, Janice wrote, "Thankful for my failures. I learned a lot from them." Boy, that's awesome because we have to learn from our failures. Somebody says the hairstyle looks good. Thank you. I had to get that in there for my own thing. They also said thanks for being real and giving us the time to educate us. I'm here to educate. I love educating. Somebody said thank you for refusing to get into politics. Yeah, I mean sometimes I have to bite my tongue honestly, but there's so much BS in politics out there now on the TV. You don't need me to get into that. That's not my thing. Somebody said I'm thankful for 2020 opportunities provided to learn new things. That is awesome. Greg Davis wrote, "As a grounded commercial pilot, I'm thankful for the time to care for my barely ambulatory mother living alone at 89. Grateful she's cognitively aware and still able to share humor. So wonderful to laugh." God bless you, Greg, and your mother. Somebody wrote, "Thankful for getting through this pandemic." This is Elisa. "There are so many that have been impacted much worse. Thankful that cancer hasn't kicked my ass," with dollar signs, "that my spouse is fighting his. Best of luck to your spouse. And will be feeling well enough to enjoy Thanksgiving and hopefully more to come. Yet the thing I'm most thankful for is family. Sure, I could hit the next big stock and get rich, but health and family is where the real wealth is. Happy Thanksgiving." Thank you, Lisa. That was awesome. And you're right. It does come down to that. And there's so many others. I don't want to, people can go on the website and they could on YouTube and read them, but there's so many others I have here that are just so good. But yeah, I'm thankful for everybody who said thankful that for me, something like that. So before I get to the 5 stocks, let me just tell you what I'm thankful for. And I didn't really have to write it down because I know what I'm thankful for. But you know, first and foremost, health. I think having health, getting through this, my family's health, my friends' health, my coworkers' health, that are out there. You know, a lot of people are coming to work now. I'm thankful for Brooke, the producer. He's out there right now, just set this up for me. He works his butt off for us, amazing guy. He had COVID earlier this year. And, you know, just family, friends, these times really show how important they are and how important your health is, and it's things we take for granted. So I'm thankful for all that. I'm thankful for all the subscribers, because without subscribers, it doesn't put money in my pocket, and it doesn't give me the ability to travel and do the things that I love, and then make me a happier man to come and do these types of things. So I feel blessed and grateful that I could do that. And really, two other things, really, I have to say I'm thankful that I could do the one thing that I love. If it was to me, I would do 5 shows a day for an hour each. I love this shit. So I feel blessed, and I know people say this all the time. Oh, I love my job, love my job. I mean, a lot of people say they hate their job, but I like when people ask me like what my hobbies are sometimes, like, oh, I spent all weekend looking at stocks, reading stock market books, doing stuff. Like, that is a great hobby to me. I love it, and I hope it comes through my passion, but I am absolutely grateful and thankful that you all are watching me to give me the opportunity and the soapbox to get on to do this. So I'm grateful and thankful for all of you. And last but not least, you know, I'm thankful for the future. I think the roaring 2020s are here. And I think we have a great opportunity not only to make money, because it is not just about money, it's about health. I think the steps forward we're taking in healthcare and medicine right now are fantastic. I'm going to a really cool place, which I'm going to video and write about, in San Diego in January for a very high-end, like, full body thing, and really the next generation of healthcare that I'm going to share with you all. And so I'm excited for that. And I think, you know, the future just holds so many great opportunities for us. Whether it be that you just want to pay off your bills, whether it be you want that second home, you want to pay for your kids' school, or you just want a shitload of money. I don't care what it is. We have opportunity out there for all of us, no matter how much we're starting with today. We all have the opportunity to get where we want to be in the next couple of years and achieve that through the roaring 2020s. And hopefully you join me on that path and we get you to your financial freedom you want to get to. So again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart to all my subscribers, my viewers, my clients, everybody out there. Thank you so, so much. Even to the haters, thank you, because it makes me a better person and humbles me sometimes. So thank you for that. So as a give back, I'm going to share 5 stocks with you. And in no specific order, these are not recommendations, but they're 5 stocks that jumped out at me and I liked over the weekend. That's all I got to say. Hey, I might buy these for myself. I might buy them for subscribers or put them in an alert. I might buy them for clients at Penn Financial Group. I don't know. I might not buy any of them. So I'm just telling you that right now. I'm just saying I like these companies, and you could take what you do with them. Here's Azure Power Global, AZRE. Obviously, it's a great looking chart. The stock's moved a lot. Up 2.3% today, be closing really close to an all-time closing high if it closes here. It's a small company, 1.6 billion, kind of right in my wheelhouse. I like between 1 and 3. 1.6 billion. It is a solar company, but based in India, the country of India. And I love emerging markets right now. I love small caps, so these two match together. I think there's a lot of great opportunity in Asia. Sales this year of 182 million. Next year looking at 206. By fiscal year 2023, which is actually the middle of 2023, 355 million. So you're seeing about a double in a 3-year time frame, which is great. And then profitable fiscal year 2022, which is just about a year and a half away. And then by fiscal year 2023, which is actually, that comes in the middle of 2022. Sorry, it's actually a half year back. So that's only, man, that's a year and a half away or so, looking to make 64 cents a share from losing money this year. So you're seeing huge movement on the chart. You're seeing it in a sector that's huge. You're seeing it in one of the most populous countries in the world. You're seeing it in a country that is putting a lot of money behind clean energy right now, because I mean, everything over there is pretty smoke filled. And you see it coming through in the top line, bottom line, and numbers I just talked about. One to keep an eye on. This is a bit of a resistance level here, so I don't know if I'd buy right below this. Ideally, you want to buy in the dip. We kind of missed that. But maybe in the breakout, I don't know. But it's one that's definitely on my watch list. The next one is Eaton Pharma, a very small company, about $180 million company. This has a pipeline of about 8 products. They have one that's approved, but they haven't really been able to roll it out yet because of COVID. It was spun out of Harrow Health. You may have heard of Harrow Health in 2017. Right now, no revenue, but they do have that drug that's approved. Expecting revenue, though, by the end of the year, close to $5 million. What's amazing is by 2023, so from 0 to 5, 3 years later, 114 million. So that's what, 23x in a matter of 3 years. Break even in 2022, so in 2 years. And then by 2023, you start to see the earnings per share and profit, that path to profitability we need to see. Estimates 23 cents a share in 2023. So this is a high reward, high risk stock. Let me just zoom out a little bit and take a look at it. You can see it went public here back in 2018 when it was spun out eventually from Harrow. But kind of choppy looking chart, but this is one of those kind of biotech plays you put away and has big upside. Like I said, it already has one approved, which is really nice. We're gonna move to a little bit bigger company now, and this is a new IPO, and you'll see here in a second. This is Kingsoft Cloud Holdings, symbol KC. And here is the, kind of the rally. You see this in SPACs and IPOs. It rallies and it usually pulls back. And where it pulled back to was right here, that was resistance. It pulled right back, not too far from there, and starting to move up again. This is about an $8 billion company. It's a Chinese company. It is a cloud service provider. Cloud is important because everything's moving to the cloud, especially this whole work from home thing. And we're going to get back to the office, but still things are in the cloud to stay. Also, the amount of data that's being created right now is big for companies like this. In 2017, it had revenue of $180 million. This year, just 3 years later, revenue just under $1 billion. And by 2022, 2.5. By 2023, nearly $3.8 billion in revenue are expected. And again, you may say, well, Matt, that's still, it's trading at 2 times that. When you're growing like that, I don't care. Because some of these software companies in the United States are trading at 50 times forward sales. And that's all right. I mean, this is one you need to keep an eye on. You're looking at China, which I think is ready to explode higher. They avoided recession. You have cloud, which is huge. You have data, which is huge. You have a recent IPO. You have the numbers to back it up. Man, oh man. Profitable in 2022. By 2023, $1 a share, and then it just takes off from there. So that's number 3. Number 4, we're going a little smaller again. This is CleanSpark, CLSK. You can see here, this is about a $250 million company. Last year had revenues of $5.5 million. By 2025, so in 6-year time frame, let's do this again. 5.5 million last year, 10 million this year most likely, and then 5 years from now, 102. So about a 10x over the next 5 years as far as revenue is concerned. Should be profitable this year, later this year potentially, and by 2025, $1.50 a share. Now that's true, man, oh man, this thing's got a long way to go. This is a multi-billion-dollar company. Guess what it does? Software for microgrids. So you think of microgrids, the future of the grid, the grid, solar, everything going into the grid, changing the way that we get energy. The microgrids, man, that and software combined. Company I just stumbled upon recently. So it's one to keep an eye on for sure. And then the last one I'm going to show you of the Thanksgiving 5 is Renalytix AI? Renalytix AI? We'll go with it. Recent IPO. It is a smaller company, $440 million. They develop AI, which is artificial intelligence in vitro diagnostic solutions, which means inside your body, diagnostic solutions for kidney disease. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news here, but the number of adult Americans that have chronic kidney disease right now, CKD, is about 37 million people. That's 1 out of every 7, or 15% of the adult population. That's sad. That's according to the CDC as of last year, folks. And what's even crazier is that 90% of people aren't even aware they have it. 1 in 3 million adults in the United States, that's about 80 million people, are at risk of chronic kidney disease. I thought this was fascinating. Again, this is negative, but we'll get positive. Now, 9th leading cause of death in the U.S., more than breast cancer and prostate cancer. This company revenues this year looking about $11 million. By 2023, in just 3 years, about 10x to $108 million. Profitable in 2022, going into fiscal year 2023, and then fiscal year 2024, which is mid-23, so a little less than 3 years from now, looking to make 46 cents a share. So this is one to keep an eye on, and this has a lot going for it. Unfortunately, it has that trend of kidney disease, which is caused by what? Obesity, high blood pressure, all the stuff that unfortunately a lot of Americans have, which I'm hoping this whole coronavirus pandemic gets us back on a better health trajectory here in the States and abroad, but definitely here in the States. But Renalytics AI, and this could be wrong. Renalytics AI, I should have put it in my computer and listened to it before I did it. See how the pullback though, it went up on the IPO pullback? This is kind of formula what I call my J curve. This looks pretty nice with a nice bottom down there around $10 a share. And if we hit these, it's got the trend of fortunately a lot of people are going to be needing it, and it's got the trend of AI as well, artificial intelligence. That's the future of healthcare. One to keep an eye on. Again, one that kind of flew under the radar. So just to go through those real quick, we have Renalytics, we have CleanSpark, which is software for microgrids. We have Kingsoft Cloud Holdings, about $8 billion Chinese company cloud play. We have Eaton Pharmaceutical, a very small play, which has 1 drug approved, 8 more in a pipeline. And then we have Azure Power Global, which is the Indian solar play as well. So that's my thank you to you. These stocks may all suck. I don't know. They all may go down. Again, I don't have any exposure to it. We may buy them at some point. I have no clue. I have no idea. So I'm just telling you for full disclosure. I don't have any axe to grind with these right now. But we may, because they're on my watch list. So again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. If you have more things you're thankful for, please post them. I'll read some more on Friday. But thank you just for watching the show. Let's finish with where the market is and get some good news here. S&P's up 1.4% near the high today. If we close here, it'd be a new 36.29. What does that say? I can't see that far. I think we're right at the all-time closing high. But we'll send on an even bigger note. How about this? We will do the small cap index because it's at an all-time high. And that's where we're making our money right now. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. If you're traveling, be safe. I'll be traveling next Sunday for a few days. So we'll be doing next Tuesdays from a remote sunny area. I'll tell you about when I'm there. So have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Be safe. Be with your family, friends, loved ones. If you're home alone, watch some more podcasts. Make comments. I'll probably jump on Twitter, so you can comment to me on Twitter. I'll talk to you. But I am cooking a feast on Thanksgiving Day. I'll send some pictures on Twitter and show everybody my amazing masterpieces. I'm about to put on 5 to 10 pounds, so I've been running every day. So thank you all so much. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. Go out there, hug somebody, tell me you love them, enjoy it, be safe, and just smile. I'm Matt McCall, and that's been your Moneyline.
Moneyline with Matt McCall. To find more information, head over to McCallMoneyWire.com. That's McCallMoneyWire.com.